Do you ever notice how some men walk into a room and instantly hold attention without saying a word? Women notice them, drawn not by wealth, looks, or achievements, but by something invisible, something primal. That magnetism you see isn't luck, it's psychology. And the good news, it can be learned. What separates these men from most others isn't what they have, it's how they shift subtly, moment by moment, in ways that communicate confidence, presence, and irresistible energy. Here's the first brutal truth most men never understand. Charisma is not charm, jokes, or being nice. Women don't consciously analyze your personality. They respond unconsciously to energy, presence, and subtle behavioral cues. Every micro-expression, posture, tone, and pause you exhibit sends signals your conscious mind doesn't even control. Subtle shifts in these areas can instantly transform how a woman perceives you, from background noise to someone she's drawn to. The men who consistently hold attention master a few invisible forces: presence, confidence, emotional balance, and nonverbal authority. They don't try to impress. They exist in a way that triggers desire without a single line of dialogue. Most nice guys fail here because they broadcast effort and insecurity instead of grounded energy. Women subconsciously detect this immediately. It's why some men are unforgettable while others are invisible despite being kind, funny, or accomplished. Another key principle is energy alignment. Your mood, focus, and emotional state are projected constantly. When you're calm, grounded, and intentional, women unconsciously sense safety, competence, and autonomy. When you're anxious, distracted, or trying too hard, they sense instability, uncertainty, and low value. The shifts that create charisma are not dramatic. They're subtle recalibrations of presence, tone, and intention that send a message without saying a word. By the end of this video, you'll understand the 7 subtle shifts that instantly make you magnetic, how women subconsciously perceive them, and how to integrate them into your daily interactions so your presence commands attention, sparks attraction, and leaves women intrigued before you even speak. These shifts are invisible to most men, but when mastered, they transform ordinary interactions into powerful magnetic experiences that women notice immediately. The first subtle shift is anchored presence. Most men believe charisma is about what they say or do, but women notice how a man exists long before words enter the equation. Anchored presence is the ability to inhabit your body and space fully, to move, speak, and breathe with grounded confidence. When you enter a room or engage in a conversation, every micro-movement communicates energy. Shoulders back, slow controlled gestures, and steady eye contact all signal security, calm, and authority. Women respond unconsciously. They feel your energy before they even know your name. Men who lack presence often overcompensate with words, jokes, or gestures, unintentionally broadcasting tension or insecurity. Anchored presence, however, creates magnetic tension that pulls attention and curiosity toward you. The second shift is vocal tone mastery. The human brain is wired to respond to subtle variations in voice. Men who speak in a calm, controlled, and slightly lower tone convey confidence and authority automatically. It's not about forcing a deep voice. It's about slowing down, projecting calm, and using pauses intentionally. Silence can be just as magnetic as words. Most men rush, over-explain, or fill gaps with nervous chatter. A controlled tone signals that you are comfortable, in control, and emotionally stable, qualities that subconsciously attract women. Women notice fluctuations in energy through your voice before they consciously process your personality. Even if you are saying something mundane, the way you deliver it can hold attention effortlessly. Both of these shifts, anchored presence and vocal tone mastery, work together to create the invisible aura of charisma. Presence roots your energy in the moment, while tone communicates stability and control. The combination is a signal your conscious mind may not recognize, but your nervous system can't ignore. It's why some men naturally draw attention without trying, while others, despite their charm or humor, remain background figures. These first 2 shifts are foundational. They prepare the subconscious stage for all the other subtle movements, behaviors, and energy adjustments that create magnetic attraction. Mastering them makes every subsequent interaction exponentially more effective. The third subtle shift is strategic eye contact. Most men either avoid eye contact or stare too intensely, and both kill attraction. The secret is measured, intentional eye contact that communicates interest, confidence, and awareness without desperation. When you look into her eyes, you create connection, but it's not about reading her or impressing her. It's about holding your own presence while observing her energy. A slight smile, a soft gaze, and periodic glances away create tension and intrigue. Women unconsciously track these cues, responding to the energy you project. Proper eye contact signals that you are fully present and self-assured, making you far more memorable and magnetic than any line or gesture. The fourth shift is micro-expression control. Every subtle facial cue, eyebrow lift, or fleeting smile communicates volumes to her subconscious mind. Most men think charisma is loud or theatrical, but it's the small, controlled expressions that hold power. A slight smirk, a raised brow in curiosity, or a calm, confident smile triggers attraction because it signals emotional intelligence, confidence, and awareness. Women pick up on these microsignals instantly. They respond to subtle emotional patterns before any conscious thought occurs. Mastering these micro-expressions allows you to project calm, playful energy without trying too hard, keeping interactions alive and stimulating at a subconscious level. These two shifts, strategic eye contact and micro-expression control, amplify the foundational elements of presence and tone. Anchored presence grounds your energy. Vocal tone communicates stability. Eye contact and micro-expressions communicate interest, confidence, and subtle engagement. Together, they create a layered psychological signal that women notice before they even speak, generating curiosity, attention, and desire naturally. Most men ignore these nuances, thinking attraction comes from words, jokes, or effort. In reality, women respond first to invisible energy cues. Mastering eye contact and micro-expressions transforms ordinary interactions into experiences that are emotionally engaging, memorable, and magnetic. Even subtle improvements in these areas can instantly elevate your charisma, making you someone women can't help but notice. The fifth subtle shift is intentional pacing. Most men rush interactions, speak too quickly, or try to fill every silence, unknowingly broadcasting tension or insecurity. Intentional pacing, pausing before you speak, slowing your gestures, and letting moments breathe, signals control and confidence. Silence becomes your tool, not your enemy. A well-timed pause before responding shows thoughtfulness, self-assuredness, and emotional control. Women unconsciously perceive this pacing as a marker of stability and intelligence. It creates a subtle tension that draws attention, sparks curiosity, and makes your words far more impactful than if you rushed through them. The sixth shift is energetic mirroring with boundaries. Humans are wired to respond positively to those who mirror their energy, tone, and posture. But there's a crucial difference between mirroring and imitation. Subtle alignment communicates empathy, understanding, and connection, while maintaining boundaries signals independence and autonomy. Most men either over-mirror, losing presence and value, or fail to mirror at all, creating dissonance and detachment. When executed correctly, this balance creates an unconscious rhythm that women respond to instinctively. They feel understood, connected, and intrigued, while also recognizing your value and self-reliance. Together, intentional pacing and energetic mirroring amplify the first four shifts: presence, tone, eye contact, and micro-expression control, by adding layers of rhythm, subtle influence, and connection. These five elements create an invisible architecture of charisma that women subconsciously detect. The energy you project becomes memorable, magnetic, and effortlessly engaging, without a single overt effort to impress. Most men overlook these subtleties because they believe attraction is verbal or performative. In reality, women notice how you move, pause, and match their energy long before they register your words. These subtle shifts aren't tricks. They are expressions of emotional intelligence and self-mastery. When combined with the foundational shifts, they create a powerful magnetic presence that draws women in, captures attention, and makes interactions feel effortless, alive, and compelling. These two shifts, strategic eye contact and micro-expression control, amplify the foundational elements of presence and tone. Anchored presence grounds your energy, vocal tone communicates stability, eye contact and micro-expressions communicate interest, confidence, and subtle engagement. Together, they create a layered psychological signal that women notice before they even speak, generating curiosity, attention, and desire naturally. Most men ignore these nuances, thinking attraction comes from words, jokes, or effort. In reality, women respond first to invisible energy cues. Mastering eye contact and micro-expressions transforms ordinary interactions into experiences that are emotionally engaging, memorable, and magnetic. Even subtle improvements in these areas can instantly elevate your charisma, making you someone women can't help but notice. The seventh subtle shift is value-driven energy projection. Most men misunderstand charisma. They focus on charm, humor, or effort to impress. True charisma comes from the energy you project about your own life, priorities, and purpose. When your energy communicates that your time, attention, and presence are valuable, women subconsciously notice. This isn't arrogance, it's self-mastery. A man who radiates purpose, focus, and calm independence automatically triggers interest and desire. Women detect this energy at a primal level, long before conscious thought comes into play. Integrating this seventh shift with the previous six transforms ordinary men into magnetic presences. Anchored presence keeps your energy grounded. Vocal tone communicates calm authority. Eye contact and micro-expressions engage attention subtly. Intentional pacing and energetic mirroring create rhythm and connection, and value-driven energy ensures that all these behaviors project significance and self-worth. Together, these seven subtle shifts create an invisible architecture of charisma that women subconsciously detect and respond to immediately. Consistency is critical. Charisma is not a single moment or line. It's a pattern of energy projected across every interaction. The men who effortlessly attract attention do so because they maintain these subtle shifts habitually. They don't try to impress. They exist with grounded confidence, controlled intensity, and purposeful energy. Every gesture, every pause, every glance works together to create magnetism without effort. Most men fail to recognize how these subtle shifts interconnect. They overcompensate with flashy gestures, excessive humor, or over-explaining, which overwhelms or misaligns energy. When you combine presence, tone, eye contact, micro-expressions, pacing, mirroring, and value-driven energy, you create an irresistible psychological pull. Women feel intrigued, connected, and drawn to you, even if they can't explain why. Mastering these shifts doesn't just make interactions smoother, it transforms how women perceive you at a subconscious level. It turns you from someone who's noticed only occasionally into someone who commands attention effortlessly, sparks curiosity, and becomes memorable long after the interaction ends. Here's the ultimate truth most men never fully grasp. Charisma is invisible energy, not charm, lines, or effort. Women respond first to the way you exist, move, and project your presence. When you master anchored presence, vocal tone, eye contact, micro-expressions, intentional pacing, energetic mirroring, and value-driven energy, you become magnetic without even trying. These seven subtle shifts are not tricks. They are expressions of emotional intelligence, self-mastery, and purpose. Charisma is not about impressing. It's about aligning your energy so that women feel drawn in subconsciously. Every micro-gesture, every pause, every glance communicates stability, confidence, and intrigue. Most men fail because they focus on words, humor, or effort, while neglecting the invisible signals that trigger attraction. The men who succeed instinctively manage energy, presence, and emotional rhythm. They are remembered long after they leave the room because their energy resonates on a subconscious level. Here's another brutal truth. Consistency is what turns magnetism from occasional to unstoppable. One interaction with presence and tone is powerful, but habitual mastery of all 7 shifts creates an invisible psychological pattern that women notice, respond to, and remember. You stop chasing attention. Desire seeks you. Your presence becomes your power. Now here's a personal question for reflection. If your mastery of anchored presence, tone, eye contact, micro-expressions, pacing, mirroring, and value-driven energy multiplied by your confidence and emotional consistency equals your charisma score today, what number would you give yourself? Be honest and write it in the comments. This isn't just theory, it's a mirror to assess where you are and where growth is needed. If this video opened your eyes, like it, subscribe for more insights most men never hear, and share it with a friend who needs to see this. Remember, charisma isn't about what you say, it's about who you are in every subtle moment. Master the energy and women notice. Master the presence and desire follows. Your energy is your power, and that power is everything.